Alright, so we're going to talk about some additional notes for section 3.1. Again, these are notes that you can add to your spiral notebook, and you can use those on your test. Make sure you write them in your spiral notebook. So section 3.1, again, is talking about units of measurement and conversions and things like that. So here we have an example of a table where we're talking about converting the inches is 36, the feet would be 3, the yards would be 1, centimeters and meters. So for example, if I had 36 inches over 3 feet and I wanted to convert to, I wanted to know how many feet was 12 inches, then I could set up a proportion or ratio, and 12 inches over X feet, and I could cross multiply and find the number of feet. Same thing here, if I had 2,000 pounds over 907.185 kilograms, I could, if I wanted to figure out what 100 pounds was, I could do 100 pounds over X kilograms and cross multiply and solve. So here are a couple questions to maybe lead you along. To convert from feet to inches, you have to multiply by what? So 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches. So what you're always going to do is if I'm converting 2 inches, you're going to put the inches on top. So it's going to be inches over feet. So 12 over 1, I'd multiply by 12. And the asterisk is multiplication. Write an equation expressing the relationship between inches and feet. So the equation is inches is equal to 12 times feet. So if I have 1 foot, I have 12 inches. I have 2 feet, I have 24 inches. So this time to convert from inches to feet, remember what I said, put the second one on top. So we've got feet on top and inches on the bottom. So that means we have to multiply by 1/12. Okay? So the equation would be feet equals 1/12 times inches. So here's another one, to convert from pounds to kilograms. So I know that 2 kilograms is 4.4 pounds. So remember, we're trying to get kilograms. So we're going to put kilograms on top and pounds on the bottom. And I end up with a decimal 0.4545. So that's what I would have to multiply by. So my equation would be kilograms equals 0.4545 times pounds. So here's another one. I have a new sidewalk that's going to be 6 feet wide, 100 feet long, and 3 inches deep. So how many yards of concrete do I need? And so when we're talking about this, we're talking about cubic yards, which is volume. So the way that I did is I converted each unit to yards. So 6 feet is equal to 2 yards. 100 feet is equal to 33.3 yards, and 0.25 feet is equal to 0.80833 yards. So to find the volume, I'm going to do 2 yards times 33.3 repeating yards times 0.0833 yards. Now, it's important when I put this in my calculator that I have to make sure that I'm putting my decimal places in right. So I'm going to do the 2 yards. When I put the 33 with the 3 repeating, I'm going to put 33.3 and a whole bunch of 3's to make sure I get my rounding off. And then I'm going to do 0.083 and a whole bunch of 3's again. And I end up with 5.55 repeating. So it's 5.55 cubic yards, 5.6 cubic yards, something like that. The next problem, I want to convert 24 meters per second to miles per hour. There was a little typo there, but I'll fix that. So 24 meters per second, so that's what my ratio is. So I'm going to start my conversions. So I'm going to first do 3.28 feet per meter. So then my meters are going to cancel out. And then I'm going to do 1 mile and 5,280 feet. So my feet are going to cancel out. And at this point, I'm left with miles on the numerator and seconds in the denominator. So I got my miles, but now I need hours. So 60 seconds equals 1 minute. So now my seconds are canceling out. 60 minutes equals 1 hour, so now my minutes are canceling out. So now I'm left with miles across the top and hours across the bottom, and I'll have miles per hour. So I'm going to take the 24 times 3.28 times 1 times 60 times 60, and I'm going to divide all that by 1 times 5,280 times 1 times 1, and I end up with 53.67 miles per hour. Okay, so our next example is on the back, or on the second sheet. So at the top, my chart has feet, inches, and then centimeters. So I'm trying to find these missing values. I'm trying to find X and Y and Z and W. So I'm going to start with Y. So I set up my proportion, 1 over Y equals 12 over 1. And I cross multiply and I get Y as 1/12. And I do want to leave it as a fraction if I can. Now I'm going to find Z, 1 over 5 equals 12 over Z. And when I cross multiply, I get Z is 60. So this is saying that 1 feet is equal to 12 inches, 1/12 feet is equal to 1 inch, 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. Now we're going to do centimeters. So I'm going to find X first. So I do 12 over 1 equals X over 2.54. So when I cross multiply, I end up with X equals 30.48. And now I'm going to find Z, but Z's already been, I'm going to find W. Z I found is 60, so I'm going to do 12 over 60 and 30.48 over W. 30.48 over W, and I'm going to cross multiply. So for this last one, when I do my answer for this, I'm going to do 30.48 times 60, and I'm going to get an answer, and I'm going to divide that by 12, and that's where I get the 152.4. So again, this is telling us that 12 inches is equal to 30.48 centimeters. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. 60 inches is equal to 152.4 centimeters. All right, so for our last example, we have what we call an interval unit. So this is just converting using a formula. So Celsius in degrees is equal to 5/9 times Fahrenheit minus 160 divided by 9. So if I want to convert 32 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, I'm going to substitute the 32 for F. And I'm going to do this calculation. So on my calculator, I'm going to do 5 divided by 9 times 32. I'm going to go ahead and press equal. And then I'm going to do minus 160 divided by 9, and I end up with 0. For my second example, I want to do 70 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius, so I substitute 70 in, and I get 21.11 degrees Celsius. So for my next one, I want to go backwards. I want to convert 32 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to put 32 in for Celsius, and I'm going to put the 5/9, so I'm going to put F in for Fahrenheit, and everything's the same. So when I do this problem, I have to do my algebra. I'm going to have to add 160 divided by 9 to 32. So you're going to do 32 plus 160 divided by 9. And I get this decimal. I don't want to lose that decimal though, and so I'm just going to leave it like it is, and then I'm going to divide by 5/9. And I end up with 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, my last one, same idea. I'm going to take 50 degrees Celsius and convert it to Fahrenheit. I'm going to go through the same math process that I did. Here I'm leaving it as a fraction, but you can also use a decimal. Just make sure you don't round off the decimal. And I get 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Hope this helps.